My next guest is a power woman. She knows everything about nano, biotech and other cool technologies, and she wins poker tournaments. Her writings for mediums like AP Wire and CNBC are as inspirational as they are way beyond what you can imagine. She's here to give us a glimpse of the world that's ahead of us. Miss Desiree Dudley.
Hi.
Welcome here in Amsterdam.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were involved with the book Nanotech for Dummies, I was told.
Yes.
So even for a dummy like me, you can explain nanotechnology in one sentence, I hope.
So increasing level control of really, really small things.
Really, really small things.
Yeah.
Okay, you were talking about nanotechnology and a lot of other things in your TED Talk. Let's look at a clip of your TED Talk.
Does anybody know what this is? Oh, there's a few. There's a few. This is sexy, right? So it's actually a human trachea. So that's a windpipe. This is an artificial human windpipe. We have made these as well. As of this year, a completely artificial windpipe has been inserted into a human being, and he's using it successfully to breathe through for air, because air is life for us. We're working on cardio cells, growing livers. There are a few years down the pike, but these things are actually going to happen.
Okay, Ms. Dudley, next to you is Mr. Igor Beuker. He's a Dutch trend watcher. He is Dutch, but we'll try to do our best to speak in broken English or Bringlish, right?
Yes, we will.
What did you think of the TED Talk?
Yeah, it was very touching, because I think that Desiree showed us that what used to be science fiction is now reality, and that's pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
Especially the Paralympics example is something that we've come a long way.
The Paralympics example?
Yeah, she's talked about. When I was 5 years old, I watched the famous TV series $6 Million Man, Steve Austin being rebuilt as it was 30 years ago. Now we have people in the Paralympics that can almost outrun Usain Bolt, which is fantastic if you look at it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You are able, Ms. Dudley, to look into the future, at least in my eyes. You are somebody who knows that nanotechnology may be able to create a lot of new material and devices, applications, medicine, electronics, biomaterials, everything. So you are somebody who has glasses who can look into the future, at least in my opinion. Is that true?
Well, I work with scientists and innovators every day that try to further the edge of technology.
Yeah. And that way, can you tell us, because you are very enthusiastic about the technology that's coming, that's ahead of us. Can you tell us something about what's happening in the world of, for example, nano or biotechnology within the next 10, 20, 30 years?
Sure. So we are already making advances to do things like print simple human organs, which I talked about in my talk. We are also, one of the things that's actually really exciting that's coming up, and a lot of people don't realize it, is that search is on the verge of changing. We take it for granted. Whole industries have been made on keyword search and optimizing for advertising, but there are advances being made in natural language processing, which is a way of better understanding and human meaning with respect to grammar that is going to change the way we interact with computers yet again.
Yeah. So Mrs. Dudley looks at technology to see the future. You look at trends and about what people are up to look into the... What can you learn from Ms. Dudley?
I think that is the best way to predict the future is to create it, and all the emerging technologies that we see. Yeah, you try to get your head around it, what it could actually mean for the future. And what I like about a lot of movies is that they use futurists to write science fiction movies, and these guys are mostly pretty right in 10, 20, 30 years. So that's a good way to see what technology will be driving a lot of trends coming.
Yeah. You are being called a space fanatic, and you even showed us a rocket in your TED Talk. Yeah. So let's look at that for a second.
What if you could take this type of technology, turn it into a space shuttle? You know the most prohibitive costs for getting into space? It's the weight and the energy it takes to get big, heavy stuff up there, because you have to take everything with you. So one of the things that really excites me about nanotechnology is it makes everything lighter. Where can we go next? What will our new horizons be?
So what we will see in the future, because I know that the Jetsons, the series from a long time ago, in which family cars went into space, is that something that's ahead of us?
I think it's entirely possible. Actually, robotic cars are coming. I mean, in some sense, they're really already here. If you haven't been tracking that with Google and others. You know, one of the interesting things about science fiction is that science fiction is written by visionaries, and they can see that these things are coming down the track, but they don't necessarily know exactly the form that it will take. You know, so there are certain things in the Jetsons that may not end up exactly the way we thought. You know, we may not be using cars in highways in the same way, but I do think that with the energy around things like SpaceX and NASA's Curiosity rover, people are starting to get more inspired about going out and exploring into the universe again, because we have a new frontier to create in.
Yeah.
And that includes governments and organizations as well. I mean, once we have, a new space to start to create, we're not landlocked with pre-existing countries. We can also start to explore new ways of communicating and creating legal systems that could work for us in better ways.
Yeah. And Igor, you were listening to the talk. Was there something you didn't agree with while she was on stage?
No.
No,
not disagree. No. I try always to see what for example, the speedboat example and the carbon fiber and what we can learn from NASA or space.
Yeah, the speedboat example was the really fast boat.
Wow. Yeah, very light.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in the boat, I guess, but if we see what's being developed in one market and we take it to another place, it might even change the rules in another marketplace. And that's what's so interesting about looking at new technologies or impossible things for now.
Yeah, but a hot topic, of course, is sustainability. Is nanotechnology isn't it going to destroy our Earth as we know it, because the environment is going to suffer from yet another technology?
So I think that's something that all good people are genuinely curious about. Whenever you advance some sort of technology, there's going to be either accidents or negligence with people who execute on it, and how do we safeguard around those things? My general attitude towards such things is that it is part of our human nature to try to play with things and create and get more power or potential out of many things. And there are those who are more selectively ethical, we could say.
Selectively ethical.
Or negligent, even honestly so. But if those are the people that are pushing the technology, while the good people stand aside, while they have their ethical concerns, that means that they are not going to be the ones on the edge of the technology making sure that they create and sustain the safeguards for the rest of us.
Okay.
So I would say that we need to get the good people out there on the edge working on the technologies, not pull away from it because we're afraid.
Okay, let's look into the future once more. Of everything you see in all these technological areas you are involved in or you study, what's the one thing you're really enthusiastic about? What's the one thing you're really passionate about?
So one of the great things about my work is that I don't have to choose.
You don't have to choose.
So I've been working with this nonprofit for the past couple of years, the Foresight Institute, and they advance beneficial nanotechnology, but also they're very cross-disciplinary. And I think the greatest advances are made when you've got a physicist and a chemist and a biologist and an engineer all in a room together, and they might have different perspectives on how things work and inspire other people and bounce ideas off of each other. And my favorite part of my work, whether that's either in the nonprofit or the for-profit capacity, is trying to selectively facilitate those connections between businessmen or scientists and watching the synergies happen. That's what I love to do, and I'm not necessarily industry specific when it comes to that. I don't think that you have to be industry specific.
I think it's the same way you look at the world, right?
I think there is. I can mention one, but it is combining all technologies together. And what I love about it is that technology is enabling us to do more good. And it might be DNA in the medical industry, or it might be a nano in another industry. The environment. We can do a lot of good with technology, and we might mash up a lot more technologies in the future, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. You won a Mensa No Limits Hold'em poker tournament. I've been told. Poker.
I did.
Is poker
I did
even
once.
a greater passion than nanotechnology? An
I would
honest
say
answer,
no.
please.
I would say no, but I do. I do love poker almost in spite of myself.
Yeah?
Some friends of mine picked it up when it got popular, and I refused to play it for a while because I thought it was this big fad. But it was my boyfriend at the time had a poker game in his house every week, and I couldn't help but get attracted to the combination of math and psychology at a live poker table. I did play some.
Are you good at it?
She's shy.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's very good at it. Yeah.
You lost from her.
No, we didn't play
Not
it.
yet.
I would like to.
Well, I've
after this
actually,
talk,
I still
I
haven't
think-
played that much. There's a lot, I mean, a professional. I'm hugely different from a professional. Professionals know all these statistical rules,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. I've only played a few times. I did place twice in smaller tourneys, but I actually pulled away from it as a professional choice because I realized that poker is a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
You're taking money away from people who make more mistakes than you.
Yeah.
But the work that I do now, I get to help others create value.
So that's a
And-
more positive way of living.
And poker's still fun.
Yeah.
But
It's fun, yeah. But
But
we're
yeah.
happy that you're involved with technology and everything you do. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here today. Thank you.